Drake has rebranded himself as a MILF guy. No, I'm not kidding. Months after a song calling him a PDF file went #1, this is one of his merch stands at one of his recent Australian tour dates. My name is Jack, aka Striking Chords, and today, what we're actually going to be talking about is directly to the right of the MILF merch.
I need the Max win.
You see, guys, the Six God has come down with a 666 sickness, a horrible gambling addiction. Or is it?
Ladies with gentle hands, welcome. Come one, come all, to the stream where it's fucking we ball. Cheers to each and every one of you.
Isn't he just so likable? So if you're not in the know, Drake isn't actually just a guy from the clapping gif. He's an artist who has matched Michael Jackson's record for #1 singles at the top of the charts, given now it's in the streaming era and not in the selling albums era, so it's really hard to compare apples to apples, but he still did it. His music has constantly been on the radio. He's been making hit after hit. He's been selling out big money tours. So if all of this is the case, why have I titled this video that he's a con artist? Are all of these records dubious? Did he pull some sneaky industry stuff to get here? Well, maybe actually, but that's not what we're talking about. Drake, the musical artist, is separate from Drake, the con artist. And Drake, the con artist, is a gambling streamer on the payroll of one of the biggest and dodgiest gambling firms in the world, Stake. If you follow Drake on any social media, in particular Instagram, you might have noticed some post on his story, some sort of bet slip of him throwing a huge wad of cash at one side of a sports game. And when I first saw this, I kind of thought like, this is just some super rich guy throwing more money than most of us will ever earn in our lives at some stupid bet just to boast his wealth, and like, that's nothing new. Then the Anita Max Win clip went a little viral when that happened. And I realized, this guy's streaming on Kick and he's gambling? And then recently, like the past couple of months, I saw clips of him on stream with Aiden Ross and XQC, both also on Kick, streaming gambling stuff together. And I was like, what is going on here? Now, if you have no idea who these people are or what Kick is, I'll give you a little briefing. Kick is a streaming service set up to compete with Twitch, which is a popular gaming streaming service, which you've probably heard of. The key difference between Twitch and Kick is Kick boasts a looser moderation system, meaning they've basically reached out to a bunch of creators who have been banned off Twitch for whatever reason, or streamers who are pretty big on Twitch but are kind of riding and battling with the terms of service a lot of the time. And what they do to get these people onto Kick is they offer them these big money deals, like millions of dollars to come stream exclusively on Kick. And you gotta wonder, if Kick is this new platform, where's all the money coming from? Well, funnily enough, it's been set up by Stake, and we were just talking about. Turns out, Stake went and made Kick because they were sponsoring streamers to gamble on Twitch, and Twitch said, no, this isn't allowed. You can't just gamble on our website and promote that to viewers on our website. So they banned these gambling streams by Stake. So Stake said, right, we're going to go make our own streaming service, and we're going to have Aiden Ross. We're going to have Drake. So Stake are an Australian gambling company who, if you're from this neck of the woods, you might recognize as the shirt sponsor for Everton Football Club. Or if you're on Twitter or X and you follow like football or sport in any capacity, you'll see the Stake logo stapled on like every video, every picture, every meme. It's just got like Stake right at the bottom, and it's crazy. You cannot escape it. It's like you can't interface with sport on social media now without gambling just being shoved down your throat. And like, that's nothing new if you look at old mainstream media. Like, if you watch a sports game on the TV, you're gonna get ads in between like the halves or whatever that are just chock filled with like gamble here, gamble there, gamble everywhere. But funnily enough, for Stake, this has actually stumbled them into some hot water where they're having to pull out of the UK market because if they didn't do it themselves, they're about to be kicked out. Because this method that they have of paying Twitter users to stick their logo on all of their memes and stuff landed them in a situation where their logo ended up on an ad for some like adult video content. And according to UK lawmakers, that is a crime because you are making gambling look seductive to young men, which is crazy because they're perfectly okay with putting gambling on the front of football shirts and on the sidelines of football shirts, you know, which are just places where young men's eyes are constantly on as well. So let's step it up here, guys. But anyway, yeah, Stake have been kicked out of the British market for making gambling look more appealing to young men. Does that sound familiar? So back to the other two guys I was just talking about, XQC and Aiden Ross. They're both kind of controversial figures in their own right. XQC is a guy who's been banned off Twitch a bunch of times, was a really big streamer over there, and he has become kind of known for just being a bit of a content leech and churning out low effort content. Aiden Ross, on the other hand, is kind of a big player in the whole manosphere content creator space with close ties to Andrew Tate and Nick Fuentes.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Which means they both kind of share, or as a result of all of these things, they both share a broader audience of either teenage boys or young men in their early adolescence. In their millions, and a lot of their streams will have over like 100,000 concurrent viewers. So these two, pretty big within their own space, in the streamer space, in the content creator space. These guys are kind of like titans, but Drake is like a seismic household name. Most people have heard of Drake or have heard a Drake song in some capacity. So Drake, sometime after posting on his story that he was gambling on Stake with these bet slips, started streaming on Kick with some guy called Roshteen, who I gather from the context that he streams that he's just kind of a gambling streamer who paid off by Stake to do the same stuff. Not really significant to what we're going to be talking about, but he's there. So they're here in front of a massive audience, gambling away millions. And I mean literal millions. And all of these streams have a pretty similar format. Drake kind of like moseys onto the stream. He's like, hey guys, we're all having a great time. I'm going to get a little drunk on this stream. And then is like, we've got loads of money to be giving away to you guys now. And he'll give away $25,000 to $100,000 in cash prizes, which is an insane amount of money. And like, I'm not gonna front. Obviously, these people who receive the money, they seem to need it because he FaceTimes them when he wins, and he's like, "Yo, you happy with the money? What you gonna spend it on?" All this kind of stuff. And they look like they're like, "Oh my god, I really need this money to do blah blah blah." And like, that's obviously good. I'm not gonna pretend that's bad. But we're gonna go woke mode now, guys. So lock in and batten the hatches. This is a covert message into the young person who is watching its brain, or anyone who is watching its brain. In between all of these money giveaways, he's just running like e-slot machines, roulette tables, and all these weird other games Stake have on their website. And like, you can watch the money counter on the bottom of these videos. It's literally in the millions. It's completely intangible to a regular person, the amount of money they're putting down on these bets and getting out in return. Or losing. Most of the time. Because it always seems to be losing. If you look at the start of the stream and skip to the end of the stream, not all of them, but most of the time, they've dropped from like a really big number to a really still big number, but comparatively speaking, really low number. And like, that part doesn't matter. Because nobody watching is even really paying attention to that. What they care about is seeing their idol, either Drake, XQC, Aiden Ross, or all of the above. They're chilling out, they're drinking, they're having a good time. They're winning big sometimes, because sometimes they'll like hit like a big roulette win and they'll win like $750,000, and it's like, oh my god, that could be me, bro. I could be winning all of that. But like as well, what's not like disclosed to the viewer is this isn't their money that they're just throwing away. Stake just gives them these like credit accounts. So like they'll be like, oh, we'll give you a stake account with $12 million. Do whatever you want because the money's going straight back to stake anyway. So no one's losing here. Everyone's winning except for the viewer who sees this content and then decides to go and sign up for stake. Drake is a guy who does not need the cash. He has generated generational wealth for his family through his music career alone. Any money he's getting from stake is simply a drop in the vast pool of wealth he already has. Him taking these sponsorships on is pure greed, and it's a scam. And I guarantee you, some people who have signed up for stake as a result of these streams are already on a really dark road. A study from Farley Dickinson University said that in the US, a quarter of men under 30 are registered to online gamble in some way and have gambled in some way. And 10% of men under 30 are problem gamblers. If you add that together, that means 40% of young men who have picked up online gambling become problem gamblers, which is a huge slice of that amount of guys. Which means financial ruin, which means stress, anxiety, depression, and, maybe one step further, which is just horrific. And how do these people that get into these holes try and get out of these holes? They just start gambling again, because if they just get that one big win, they'll be back. And I gotta confess, I fell down the rabbit hole like last year, watching the European Championship. I just started putting some money on. I won big once, and I went, okay, I'm good at this now. I won, I'm the big dog. I can keep doing this. And I tried it a few more times, and I just kept losing, and I was able to be like, wait, whoa. I started hyper-fixating on this thing, being like, no, I can figure it out. I can, mathematically figure out how we're gonna, pick the players that are going to do this and that, and I'm going to build a model that's going to answer all of the problems for me. And it's that it was going bad, but I was able to stop myself. I took a deep breath and went, I shouldn't be doing this. But I felt that kind of that temptation to just keep going. And the crazy thing is, the app's still on my phone. I could just be in bed and just go, yeah, I'm going to throw a bunch of money at this sports game and see what happens. Anyone can do that at any time. It's incredibly dangerous. And sure, this might sound prudish if you're oh, I like to gamble when I watch a game with my friends once in a blue moon. It's that's fine. All good things are in moderation, but this thing is super addictive. And that's what you gotta know. And what you also have to know is the only people winning in gambling as a whole is the ruling class, who are just punching down and taking money from the rest of us. Because that's what gambling is. It serves to make the class divide even wider and wider and wider. And what you have to realize is, when you're being sold gambling as such a fun thing to do, look at the wealth of the people who are promoting it to you. And you'll start to realize who's really winning when it comes to these things. Drake, XQC, and Aiden Ross are all crazy wealthy. And all they see you as is another dollar if you're watching their content. And that's evidenced by the fact that you're taking this money to promote gambling to their viewers, because if someone really cared about their viewers, they would not be promoting gambling to them. These Stake Drake streams are a scam. Anita Max Win is not a cute character. It's a product designed to lure people in to think, ha ha ha, so funny, I'm gonna start gambling. The clip of him saying that is so clippable by design. They want it to be like that. They want people to see, oh, what's this? I didn't know Drake was streaming. And then see what he's promoting. That's what it is. And if you've fallen for it, I'm sorry, but you're a victim. That's my piece. Anyway, guys, talking about Drake here and the current times, I feel a bit like that Elden Ring NPC who comes along and stamps on Godric the Grafted after he's been defeated. But I think this in particular does really need to be talked about, because young men, and young people in general, are really seen as prey by this entire industry. And I think Drake being like a big cog in this is so gross. But yeah, thanks so much for watching the video. If you liked it, leave a like, comment your opinions, and also subscribe, please, because there's plenty more to come. I know there's not many videos on my channel yet, but we got loads in the kitchen. We're gonna have a video like a month, probably. That's my aim. And so far, we're knocking that out of the park. And I also want to say thank you to anyone who is watching this from watching my last video or subscribed from the last video, because that video blew up and I really didn't think it would. Well, blew up relative to me. And that was great. So all of you who subscribe from there, you're sick, you rock. But yeah, as well, actually, I have a community Discord that I haven't plugged before. Not a whole lot of people in there, but I'm trying to build something so we can talk about music and other things, whatever. It's just a little Discord community where we can all hang out. So I'll link that in the description. You should join if you're a Discord guy, girl, or in between. And yeah, alright. I'll catch you guys later. And remember, subscribe to Striking Chord.